I wear orange like a hunter in the woods
to protect my life.
Yeah, instead of doing something sensible like carrying around the means to defend yourself with. So you know that Everytown.org I debunked in my last couple of videos? In the first one I showed you that they're so ignorant of guns, they think guns fire the entire cartridge like a rocket. And in the second, I showed you deliberate and unmistakable dishonesty. Well, guess what? These morons have a YouTube channel, and in a recent video, they showed themselves to be the scum of the earth as well. Check it out.
Hi, my name is Haidia. It's your job as students to say yes to a great future.
To know Haidia, boy.
She wasn't someone who would be in a crowd and would be lost.
Haidia was an athlete.
She was very family-oriented.
Haidia was a comedian. Everybody was her best friend.
I don't know how to explain it, but she was just herself. She was mine.
Yes, these are parents who tragically lost their daughter, Haidia Pendleton. She was standing with her friends in a park when she was shot in the back and killed, having been mistaken for a rival gang member. You can't help but feel for them. What they're going through must be the worst thing possible for any parent.
In America, more than 90 people die and hundreds more are injured to gun violence every day.
And this is the thing that's taken away my sense of humor. These Everytown assholes are using this grieving couple to spew their misinformation. As many of us have repeatedly pointed out, this statistic is not true. Not unless you consider suicide to be a form of violence. In 2015, the last year for which FBI statistics are available, the total number of homicides in the U.S. was 13,455. That's 36 a day, not 90. And that's for all weapons, not just guns. For guns, that drops to 9,616, which is 26 a day. And that's arrests. It doesn't take into account cases where the person was acquitted because it ended up being self-defense or it was really a suicide or whatever. According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, 70% of murder charges result in a conviction, which takes our number down to 18. It also doesn't account for innocent people taking a plea bargain from a desperate DA with no case because the defendant doesn't want to take a chance of life in prison or even a death sentence, something that's a huge problem with our justice system. According to the Marshall Project, the innocence rate of convicted felons is between 2 and 8%, so really, the number is probably more like 17. 17 instead of 90. Now you know why they railroaded grieving parents into giving the statistics, so that your fee-fees might override your skepticism. And so they don't have to refute the actual statistics given by people like me. Instead, they can just say, "Oh, look at that awful person who doesn't care about people suffering." It's absolutely disgusting to see a senseless tragedy and two people's pain heartlessly and psychopathically exploited in this way. I can't help noticing that this tragedy took place in Chicago, a city with some of the strictest gun laws in the country. So if they already have all this gun control, why didn't it help? Here's how Brady campaign president Dan Gross explains it away. The city's crime guns are coming from a handful of bad apple gun dealers in surrounding towns and states, like Mike Pence's Indiana, who irresponsibly and illegally sell guns to dangerous people. Oh, so you know there's going to be a black market for guns where you have strict gun control laws. So this isn't about saving lives, but about having excuses to get more and more power over people's lives. He goes on to say, the ATF already knows who these unscrupulous dealers are. Trump and the next Attorney General should direct agents to crack down on those dealers, enforce federal law, and stop the flow of crime guns into the Windy City streets. Yeah, and how's that working out for crack and heroin? According to the Brady campaign, the state with the best gun control laws in the country is California, and has been for years. In 2015, California's violent crime rate was 426.3 per 100,000, compared to 372.6 countrywide. And the murder and non-negligent manslaughter rate was 4.8 per 100,000, on par with the national average of 4.9. At best, gun control made no difference at all, and at worst, you have a much larger violent crime rate, an additional 152.7 per 100,000.
I wear orange.
Because orange demands to be seen, and I demand to see change.
Oh, so you want to see change, huh? Well, you know something that actually could have prevented her death? Ending the war on drugs. If drugs are legal, then you have no drug gangs, and no turf wars, and no one gets shot having been mistaken for a rival gang member. They don't mention that either. Sorry I don't have a clever, biting ending for you, but my heart's just not in it. I can't help but feel for this grieving couple and rage at how they're being used. Maybe one day, if enough of us keep pointing out the real statistics, they'll be equipped with the knowledge they need to stop being pawns of political interest groups who keep calling for gun control laws that they know will fail. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, why not hit like and subscribe? And to make sure I can keep producing content, support this channel by becoming a patron. And check out all the other great content here, like this video selected especially for you.